Okay, as always, here we are back in MATLAB, and I've got my usual 5-window layout here. If you want to change your layout to match this one or customize it somehow, just go to the Layout button here, and you can click on that, and you can mess around there and make anything you want. Set it up however you like. Now, what we've been doing in the past is writing out functions, usually as anonymous functions, and plotting them from the command window. So I went ahead and typed out this that function that was on the board there and saved it in another file. So here it is. Okay, got it. Now I can say fplot f, and let's make it go from, I don't know, -5 to 5. And perhaps let's turn the grid on. So there it is. And as we've seen before, there's the plot. Now, it'd be nice if I had a line there showing the x-axis. And maybe I want to find the root of this weird function. Oh, maybe I want to be able to set the x-axis limits. That'd be kind of handy, wouldn't it? Well, I could do all that, but if I'm going to be doing all that from the command window, it's going to get cumbersome, repetitive, boring. Let's write an M file. What we're going to do is going to write a text file that just has all the commands we want to run in there as text. And instead of having to type the commands all individually, we'll just run that file. So there's a nice editor built into MATLAB, and all you have to do to access it is just type in the word edit and then a file name. Here's the thing. Commands in MATLAB are M files. So like the plot command, that's actually an M file. If you're going to write an M file, you don't want to use a command, a name that's already a command in MATLAB. You can. If you do, you're going to redefine that command. So if you were to write a routine and call it plot, if you're not careful, that's going to overwrite the plot command. So when you hit plot, it's not going to go to MATLAB plot anymore. It's going to go to your M file called plot. So an easy way to make sure that you're not going to use a name that's already a command is just type that name in and see if it comes back with an error or if it actually is a command. So I'm going to call this TPS. So I'm just going to write in TPS. Actually, I'm going to write in help TPS. Help sends information on a command to the screen. So if there is a command called TPS, I don't think there is, but let's check. At that, TPS not found. There is no command called TPS. So there we go. So I'm going to write edit TPS. It says, do you want to create it? Why, yes, I do. So now, this window up here, I now have 6 windows in front of me. This one right here is the editor. And you can see right there, it says tps.m. So it's expecting me to write the function TPS. And so I'm going to start by typing in function. See how that turned blue? So that's a command, TPS. Now, you can put as many comments in your M file as you want, and comments are a beautiful thing. So I'm going to put comments here. The % is a comment, and in this editor it turns green. So anything that comes after that % is just a comment. It's completely ignored by MATLAB. So I can do anything I want in here, and it's not going to try to run it. Now, if I'm going to put a comment here, it has to make sense. It has to mean something. So it tells me what it does. Okay, that's good. Now at the very end of the M file, we want to type in the word return. That sends it back, sends control back to the command window. Another thing about M files is you can put as much white space in them as you want. I can put lots of space between commands if I like, and I generally do that to make things easy to read. So let's go ahead and paste in that function, right? And let's write fplot f. And let's just do that. And maybe we'll turn the grid on. Let's try it. Now, where do you run this? Well, I can save up here, and I can just type in TPS now. And there it is. Bring it down here so you can see it. That's pretty good. The other way to do it is there's a run command in here. Just click that. It makes my plot for me. So that's pretty good. Now, that's pretty basic. Let's add some stuff to it. I already said that it would be really nice to put an x-axis in there. Well, there is a command in MATLAB called yLine. And the argument of it is the value of y where it's to draw a horizontal line. So I want to be 0 because I want that to be the x-axis. The y location of the x-axis is 0. And let's make it a black line. Okay, let's run, see what we get. Well, there's my line. That's actually blue, not black. Black is actually a K, so let's put a K there. And I'd like the line to be a little heavier. When in graphing commands, you can specify a parameter and then give the parameter a value. So the one I'm interested in is called line width. You can look these up. This has to be a string, so I'm going to put single quote, single quote. Now the default line width in MATLAB is 0.5. I'm going to make it 1. And now I'm going to have a black line. K is specifies a black line. Line width is just that. It says what follows is going to be the line width, and it's going to be 1. So with that, let's go ahead and run. When you click run up here, it automatically saves. If I click down here, it also automatically saves. So I'm going to click run. Okay, there. Now I've got a nice black line. That looks pretty good. Now I know where the x-axis lies, so it's pretty obvious that the root lies there. Well, it'd be kind of nice. By the way, this stuff is getting to be old. Let's do something here. Let's put a CLC in here and run it again. See, now it clears the screen every time, so we'll do a little housekeeping there. That's kind of nice. Well, what's the next thing? Let's write out F0. Let's find the root. So F, now I have to give it an initial guess. I'm just going to give it 0. Run it again. There we go. So it says the root is at 4.1369. Does that look right? Let's make this bigger. I can get a good look at it. And let's click there and zoom in. Well, that looks pretty good. It looks like it's about the right number. 4.1369. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yep. All right. Well, this is kind of awkward. This ANS equals that. That's got no style. Let's fix that. So I'm going to say, I'm going to assign the result of F0 to this variable x root. And now I'm going to suppress this so that ANS doesn't show up on the screen. If I run this now, it'll find the root, but it won't tell me what it is. Check this out. Okay, get rid of it. There's the plot. Get rid of that. It didn't print out anything to the command window. Well, I didn't tell it to. Let's use the display command, and we'll make format a nice little text result. So DISP is display, and I'm going to display. What display does is it sends a string to the command window. Well, what I have to do is the argument of display is I have to make a string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concatenate a couple of string entities into one string. And the way you do that is I'm going to put the square brackets there, and I'm going to start by saying root is at, come on, Mark, at x equal. Now I'm going to give it a space or two there because I don't want these things to run together. Now root is at x equal. Now I have to somehow turn that variable into a string. Well, big surprise. There's a command. There's a command called num2string, number2string variable, and I'm just going to say x root, and that should run now. Let's see how that works. Oh look, there it is. I'm going to get rid of the plot here. There it is again, but I'm going to get rid of it. So root is at, okay, that looks pretty good. What else could we do here? Well, it'd be kind of nice if there was a marker at the root. Let's do that. So I'm going to plot, instead of plotting a list of numbers, I'm just going to plot one number. That's a vector with length 1, so that's fine. So there's x, there's y. All right, so I can plot right now. If I don't say anything, it's just going to put a dot there. Well, I can't see the dot. So I'm going to tell it to use O, circle, as the marker. Let's run that and see what we get. Well, it's there, but it doesn't look right, does it? Well, what did I do wrong? I didn't turn hold on. So let's turn hold on and see what happens. Let's run it again. Ah, that looks good. So the marker's there, but it's not very big. Let's make it bigger. There's a parameter called marker size. So let's do that and make it size like 10. We should be able to see that. Okay, there we go. Now I can see it. Well, that's pretty slick. What else would be fun to do here? Well, one of the things we haven't done right now is I haven't let you specify what the upper and lower limits of the x-axis are. Let's do that. Now there's two ways to do it. One is I can just hard code it in here. I could say x low equals, I don't know, 5, x low, x high equals something else. But that means if I want to change it, I have to go in and actually change code. Well, that's not so much fun. Let's do this. I'm going to pass these variables in. There's two variables called x low and x high. Now if you notice over here, it's objecting. These orange, kind of yellowish orange things here are warnings. It's saying x low and x high might be unused. Well, yeah, of course they're unused. I'm not doing anything with them yet. Just cool your jets here. I'll get there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to fplot, and I'm going to say, make this x low, x high. Now, if I try to run from here, it's not going to work. Watch this. Not enough arguments. It just tried to run this, well, without any arguments. So now what I have to do is I have to type in TPS down here, and I actually have to give it some arguments. Let's go from 0 to 5. There. So I've got the root, and now I've specified the x-axis range. So see how this works? This is, we're building this up piece by piece by piece. And what we started with was just the function and the basic anonymous function here, made a plot. And we kept adding things to it. Well, that's pretty much how programming works a lot of the time. You start with something very simple, get it running, and then start adding features to it as you need. Now we've pretty much dipped our toe in the water here. As I mentioned, M files can get very, very sophisticated, and they can get very, very long. But this is a pretty good start. Let's stop here for now, and next time we'll make an M file that does something a little more sophisticated and gets a little longer.